Hi, my name is Patrick Hart, and it worked out well that I was able to pass out my flyer tonight. This was a presentation I was going to do on PowerPoint, but I gave you the history of why I joined the homeless outreach team. My mother worked with the homeless for over 20 years down in Oceanside, and it was a completely different situation down there with different circumstances. I can tell you that statistic that Doug gave out of about 35% of the people we actually had living here are now into housing. I don't think that's been duplicated anywhere in the United States. But those were the people that wanted to accept services, or that were, after many, many months of our outreach team going to them over and over again and bringing them back into housing and services. That was the only way that we got that type of a figure. So as I say at the beginning, at the end of my page one, I think we're now into phase 2 of our services with an enforcement strategy. And that is the people that lived here in our brush, on our beaches, that we've got off the streets, are the ones that we call chronics, that have been homeless over 1 year. From here on out, it's going to get a lot more difficult because, number one, we are a destination, and people see the Palisades all over the United States on TV commercials. They see our lifeguard towers, they see our beaches, they watch Baywatch. They know that this is a destination. And they know Sunset and PCH, the homeless will get off the street, will see. There's Sunset and PCH. It's free. I don't have to panhandle. It's open. There's nobody there. How come that is? Oh, there's a food and liquor source. There's lawns right there. There's the beach right there. And this is why people come, because it is everything that they're looking for in order to not face some of the very difficult problems that they've had with family, with mental health, and the variety, and with their alcohol and drug addiction. So anyway, let's just go through it very quickly. They come from around the United States. We have talked to them from all over Los Angeles and Hollywood. One of the most amazing things here is that it's mostly white guys. It's mostly white guys that live here. The few blacks that we see are from Hollywood, and they'll come in couples, and some of them will stay around, but other ones will leave and go back to Hollywood. And we find them like going back and forth on the 302 line. Or there are coastal homeless that travel up and down the homeless, and they all communicate with each other. So a lot of them have cell phones, a lot of them have SSID, a lot of them have trust funds that keeps them out, and they'd rather not stay at home. A lot of them have parents, 40-year-old men who can't get tired of handling, they can't handle their medical problems anymore, and they kick them out on the street. And we find them, and we have to find out who their parents are and their lives. I mean, virtually nothing that they tell you, I have learned, is the truth. Unless it's the first time you get to talk to them, then they will tell you the truth. And everything from there on out, if they're still here and they haven't got services, then that's where our ladies go to work. They panhandle at Sunset and PCH mostly because they make the most money per dollar of anyone, and they talk about this to each other as they're riding the bus in from Koreatown. I have my cleaning lady who's ridden that bus for over 30 years into here tell you, look, I'm going to pass out an article that she had. So it's the availability of beach and brushy parkland camp locations. It's the last spot. It's the last spot to get off the beach, and for our chronics that we had, many of whom we've got off the beach right now, they have what they call an established clientele. People that go to work or would stop at Sunset and PCH while they're waiting to make the turn and think, oh, there's so-and-so. That was their clientele. That is almost gone now. With all of those homeless, most of them we've got into housing and onto the streets. They arrive by foot, by bus, by motorized bike, but most often by bus. The two main bus lines are the 302, which comes from Koreatown and runs all the way down Sunset, through Hollywood, through Bel Air, through Beverly Hills, and ends right here. And the buses turn around. The other one, as I said, is the 534 that runs up and down the coast. 2 years ago, there were so many homeless that I asked the LA Fire Department. I says, how much of your outreach, how many times are you scrambling to help the homeless? The guy said, 70% of our calls for the whole station, 69, are for our EMT, and 70% of those are for homeless. So that took all of those services away from us. And that has completely changed as far as I can see right now. They used to be very democratic. If there were several of them wanting to panhandle at the same time at Sunset and PCH, they would say, okay, you can do 6 light sequences on, and then I'll get the next 6 light sequences on. If it's a couple, they'll always put the woman up first. If a guy has a dog, they'll put the dog. They all use it for something. Let's go to who are the panhandlers, and we got through that. Mostly blacks, mostly whites, a few blacks. We don't see illegals, we don't see Hispanics. 3 years ago when I started doing this, we did see some of the people that OPCC talks about with 18-year-old kids that were in foster homes and had been kicked out of foster homes. I saw 2 of those, and that was 3 years ago. We don't see a lot of the kinds of people. The situation has changed now, and as we get most of these guys off of the streets, most of these people off the streets, then we're seeing at the bottom of the page what I call the new old white guys, and they're searching. We have guys that are from downtown LA that there may be in housing in downtown LA that they don't have anything else to do. They'll come down here and look on the weekends because they know, number one, normally there's no police working, and number 2, they'll probably see some of their friends that they met. I used to have some a young homeless couple, a girl and her boyfriend, that were in one of the mental health facilities, and they called her Jelly Bean, and she came down to with another one of her friends on the weekends. She would arrive early in the morning, go into Vaughn's, start drinking, and then start panhandling in between cars on Sunset and PCH. And I said, Julie, don't. I was afraid she was going to fall over and get hit by a car when everybody's rushing to make a left-hand turn. I mean, we are afraid for them. The other ones are, they're building fires below the Via Bluffs when it gets cold, and they have, because they want to cook, and they may be doing speed to keep up during the night. They may be just drunk, but we have extreme fire hazards. And when we had those fires a couple of years ago, I remember the night we had the city attorney coming, and we had the police chief, Rusty's boss, coming, and we had just had a fire, and I screamed at them, basically, outside this door. I said, you know who they are, you know they're on probation, you know where they live, do something. And now we've got Rusty, and now we've got our outreach team. So this is what we've done. All right, Doug's pointing. So the best time to panhandle, they usually will panhandle when they know the police aren't there, either 6 to 7:30 in the morning or 6 to 7:30 in the evening. That's when they'll panhandle, that's when they'll go and buy the food and alcohol. And let's go to the end. How much do they make? Okay, here's the reasons. Here's finally all of the causes that I have seen. Some of it is learned behavior, way of life, passing through hopelessness, which we try to help with, and to supplement or support drug or alcohol. And lastly, by word of mouth, they know that they can make about $16 an hour, or $180 to $200 a day panhandling in Sunset and PCH. I asked my cleaning lady, Betty, to come. She spoke with Mike Bonin about a year ago at one of his pop-ups at our farmer's market, and there's a picture of her. And she told Mike Bonin this exact same thing, because she rides the bus, she talks to the homeless, and she has seen the horrors that exist on those buses when they come in, the defecation, the filth, them trying to pickpocket these cleaning ladies that are just riding into work on the buses. So that's the end of my presentation.